don't know what this day gonna consist of, but I do know that it's gonna be something lovely. I said I might start off with cleaning out my car. I don't know. I really ain't got too much to talk about it this time because it's what time it is. It's what 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 8 o'clock in the morning. Ooh, I hope y'all doing well this morning or this evening or this afternoon. I don't know what time it is wherever you are in the world. What I can say is that y'all understand that everything is mental. Everything is mental. It is. Everything. Y'all see my baby Yoda? Yeah. What his name is? Go Grogu. I said Go Grogu. So this is my morning, and we about to get this thing popping. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. My mind is at a blink right now. It's like it's nothing there. And I'm like, what is this? What is this blur that I got going on right now? What is this blur? I don't know. But what I can say is that I'm feeling fucking fantastic. Yes, I am. Today is my deceased son birthday. Today, he would have been 29. I said I might go down now, where he's grave sited, which is in Jackson, and go put some flowers and balloons on his grave. But we shall see. The day, I mean, he's still young, so we'll see. I like doing, spontaneous things. I like being vibrant and alive every day. Every day. Is y'all gonna show up and show out? What is this? We gonna do that? All right. Just chopping it up with y'all before I, get going with my day. Because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come back in here before the day is over with. I don't know yet. I see my baby Yoda. I'm just sitting here and gathering myself, gathering my thoughts. That's what me doing. Gonna have a fucking fantastic day today as well. Yes, we are. That's what we do. We have fantastic days. Yay. We live our best life. If you breathing, you achieving, okay? If you breathing, you are achieving. That's how it goes. Yay. We live our best lives on this side of the YouTube. Everything is fantastic, fabulous. Yes, yes, yes. I'm just chopping it up with you guys before I start my day. That's all I'm doing. I wanted to leave you guys with a message, but like I said, my brain is in a blur. Yes, it is. Whew. How's everyone this morning? I see we got 7 heads in this live. Okay. All right. Yeah, don't forget, everything is mental. Everything is mental. Everything is mental. And you know what that means? That means that everything that you see when you look out, it is of your imagination or somebody else's imagination, meaning they made that shit up. But what makes things stay together or what makes things in agreement is us believing in it. Us believing in it. Yeah, I hate when I start talking that shit, right? Let all that shit go with it, but it's okay. When you come on this channel, I'm gonna talk my shit regardless of who like it or not. or who like it or not, because that's just what I do. That's just what I do. Peculiar Conscious Project. Esoterical spiritual lawyer. Why I always say esoterical? It's esoteric spiritual lawyer. And we talk about things that of not of the norm on this side of the channel. That's what we do. Yeah. We have a fantastic time, living our best lives and, expanding our consciousness and, you know, learning and growing and understanding ourselves more and more each day. Because you know what? The more you understand yourself, the better you understand others. The more you are forgiving to yourself, the more you are forgiving to others, compassionate with yourself, compassionate to others. So that's why when you start focusing on yourself and you look out, you're only looking at a different aspect of yourself because there's no one but you. It's just different forms and different consciousness levels of you. So that's why when you judgmental towards others, you judgmental towards yourself in some kind of shape, form, or fashion. So that's why they say be careful what you say about others because that's what karma is. It's gonna boomerang back on you. Whenever you say, well, this person could have did better, or they should have been more understanding, or they should have, or I needed them to do this. No, you don't. A person can only show up as they are. And as me doing a lot of, self-reflecting and a lot of the inner work, I discovered that, you know, when I feel good about myself, when I release so much of those toxic and limiting beliefs, when I do that, guess what? When I look out into, the world, or when I have conversations with people, what end up happening is no matter how they showing up, I can always see their bigger and better version of themselves. I always see that side, no matter how they showing up. But here's the thing: I can choose to remove myself from that situation, even if they don't understand why I'm doing it you know but I see why they coming from that state of consciousness, that state of mind that they coming from. I see why they are behaving the way they're behaving, but they don't mean that I have to tolerate it. They don't mean that I have to stay in that space. They don't mean that I have to be somebody's doormat. I always say that a lot of people need like this dumping ground. They need somebody to dump their insecurities on, or dump their doubtful, you know, thinking on, or dump their incapabilities of doing the inner work. So that's why people dump. They dump because of that. They dump because I don't know what else to do. So I'm gonna blame it on somebody else. That's why people dump things on other people. Because I didn't do this, that's what they do. I didn't do this. I didn't cause this. But anywho, I don't know where I was going with that. I hope everyone have a beautiful days. Like I said, it was just a quick pop in, and I just wanted to just say a little something this morning to, you know, put a little something on you guys' mind. And that is, if you do not heal yourself, if you do not have Michael, if you do not heal yourself, if you do not learn whatever it is that you need to learn for yourself, then things are going to repeat itself. They will. Different places, different faces, different circumstances, things will continue to repeat themselves because you have not understood who you are. If you are a creator, Meaning, if you are the God of your universe, meaning your reality and your mind, then guess what? Everything is coming from you. Everything is coming from you. Can I see your face? Sure. In the moment. In the moment. Can you like and can you hit that like button for me? Can you hit the like button for me and subscribe to the channel? That would be awesome. That would be so awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah. But what I was just talking about. You being the creator of your universe. Well, you are the universe. There is no creator because you are the universe. Anytime you look outside yourself, that's your shit. In some aspect, it's your shit. Meaning, subconsciously, you have created everything that you are experiencing, that you are seeing subconsciously now. I'm saying it subconsciously. But anywho, that's why they say when you have a circumstance, you don't have to hold on to, those bitter or confused emotions because in some aspect you created it. And if you create something, then you can change it. And it ain't in, those physical ways. I've learned of this thing. It's called tunnel vision, right? And when you got a tunnel vision, that means that you can quantum leap into a new state of mind, right? You can quantum leap in a new state of mind due to you raising your frequency. Due to you raising your frequency and you releasing the outdated beliefs. Because all beliefs is a thought. And all a thought is either it's a word or an image within your mind that you keep looking at. Therefore, you keep causing the same thing to repeat itself, meaning the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same circumstances, the same, because you have not changed your state of consciousness. Once you change your state of consciousness, then things will start to shift for you. Things will start to change for you because you know why? Everything is you pushed out. So if you the cause, you must be the effect too. You both. There's no separation. Everything is you. The problem and the solution, all of it is within you, within the moment of now. But based upon your focus, what you keep focusing on, this is what's going to determine what is showing up in your life and how you feel about what is showing up in your life. Due to you now. This is why you have to have a great relationship with yourself. Because when you have a great relationship with yourself, you will always know, I can't lie to myself. This is not something that I want to experience. This is not what I consist of within my day. You're not being forced to do things because it's said within society to do things a certain way. Because when you do that, you are lying to yourself. You're not doing something because, you really get some kind of enjoyment or excitement out of it. You only doing it because, okay, they say they say now, I'm going to say they say this is the way to do it. They say this is how you get ahead. They say. No, you say. If you are the creator, then you have to start creating things for yourself. This is why you have to know yourself. This is why it's very, very, very important for you to know yourself, because if you don't know yourself, you're going to always need some type of outside validation. Outside validation. Am I doing this right? Is this okay? How can I make this better? And you know what? It's nothing wrong with that. Improvement, bettering yourself, getting better perspective is nothing wrong with that. However, You cannot always depend on somebody else's, opinion of what you should be doing with your life. I always say this, a lot of people be looking at me like I'm batshit crazy. Reason being, because I just show up in the way that I want to show up, and they're like, "You can't do that. That ain't how people normally do it. That ain't how you normally see it. That ain't how, you normally supposed to behave." I be like, "Who cares how people normally do something? How you think things in the world got the way it got? Because it came the norm, because it was the familiar. That's how things became the way they are, and people adapted to that thing because majority of people was doing it, and so it must have been something right about it. Me, I have been in so many miserable situations, so many problematic situations due to the fact that I thought that I had to do something a certain way. Like, if I don't do it this way, then this person ain't gonna talk to me no more. If I don't do it this way, then this person gonna hate me. They ain't gonna like me no more. If I don't do it this way, then I ain't gonna have no friends. I already don't got no friends. I already live like this secluded and hermit life. That's how I'm so familiar with myself, because I have been by myself. And even though I tried, I'm gonna say tried, even though I would try to be the bigger person, ooh, some just flew. Even though I would try to be the bigger person, guess what? It still would get me nowhere. Being a bigger person now, for me, to me, is me showing up as my authentic self at all times. And if that ain't good enough, then I don't know what to tell that person. If me being my real self ain't good enough for this environment, or for this person, or for those people, then I don't know what to tell them. Because I'm not gonna shrink myself. That's how I became who I am today, because I stopped shrinking myself. I stopped needing outside validation. I stopped waiting on the next person to tell me how I want to look, how I want to dress, how I want to live my life, how I thought what was best for me. I stopped waiting. And that be the thing about people. Well, I'm going to wait when I go, I get retired. I'm gonna wait when I hit my first million. I'm gonna wait when I have, get my husband. The wait. So while you waiting, guess what life is doing? Life is passing you by, because you keep waiting. You keep waiting. You keep waiting. So I always tell people, do what you can within that moment, but don't cause more problems. Don't cause more stress, but do what is needed. And it's like, well, I don't know how to do that. I said I was gonna come up. I didn't say this so many times though. I got a website, you guys, and I had this website for like 5 years. I said, oh my goodness, 5 years have passed by. Every month I have to pay on it, and I have not put anything on it. So that's another one of my focus, is to put products and services on my website. Yeah, because it ain't no need for me to let my wisdom, my knowledge go to waste. But the fear that I had about that, I said, well, who's going to take over? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to make sure this is ran? But that's neither here or there. But that was the thing that I was letting hinder me, because I didn't see past me being the one that is, you know, orchestrating or running the. Whew, I got a little distracted there. Meaning, who was gonna be one running the website besides myself? So that be the thing. Like, if something happens and I can't show up and I can't be, you know, the best at that moment in time, who's gonna run it for me? And they say, well, that's why you get a team and that's why you do all this stuff. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But hey, that's what I do. You know, I brainstorm. Yeah, I made this video. I've been made it, and I'm gonna release it today. And I know a lot of people ain't gonna understand it. It's mainly talking about how what I just said about you are the creator. But here's the thing: as a spirit, you're nobody. A spirit has nobody. So as a spirit and you're nobody, and you using your vessel, meaning the avatar, to do everything within this so-called physical world, then actually you're not doing nothing. The creation cannot create anything, only the creator. So when I say you are the creator, you creating from the spirit aspect of yourself, right? Which is unseen. So if the unseen you is in charge of the physical you, then guess what? You're not you're not actually experiencing what you want to experience. You are experiencing things the way that your higher self or your spirit is allowing you to experience it due to your focus. So that's what the video is mainly talking about, how you ain't nobody. But I was talking about how the sun, but I'm gonna mention this in this live. When I said the sun, it's the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon, because you have the sun in the day and you have the moon at night. So what I was talking about is that, like, if you got this spirit, and I'm gonna equate the sun and the moon to like this giant ass spirit that's always following you, right? It's always following you, and it's like, no, it's not. Like when it rains, then the cloud cover it up or whatever, it's still there. In some aspect, it's still there. It's just the clouds, it covered it up. But anyway, so if you this spirit, right, then the spirit is all knower. The spirit is always there. It's not gone. It knows what's before you know what's before you. So if the spirit is the creator, then there's only a flow that you have to maintain. And once you get out of that flow, then that's when problems shows up, because you got out of the flow. You wasn't able to be connected with your spirit. You wasn't able to be connected with your higher self to give you the wisdom and the knowledge. Because if you're not connected to your higher self, guess what you connected to? You connected to the lower self. The lower self, it takes more of a liking to, the news, what's popular, what's trending. It takes more liking to what's traditionally done. The lower self. Not saying that there's something wrong with the lower self, but that's when it is said that you are trapped within your own hell, because then you start efforting. Efforting means like you start thinking that you are the controller of the avatar, then the spirit being the controller of the avatar. So when I release that video, it's going to explain it in the most unorthodox way, but it's okay. That's why I'm giving y'all heads up now about a little bit of the video, which is some stuff that I'm saying that I didn't mention. But I was trying to give y'all a good, description of how you're nothing. You're nothing without the spirit. You're nothing without that force within yourself. And this can be tested and proven. Are you making your heart pump now? Are you making your kidneys do the things that it does to function, or your liver? What are you doing to do anything now when it comes to you doing anything to make the body function? Now, there are things that you can do to make things get out of its normal functioning ways. There are things for you to do that. But that's mental as well, because, we have the doctors, they tell us, well, you can't eat that because it's going to give you high cholesterol. You can't eat that because it's going to give you diabetes. See, here's the thing that most people don't know. When you accept a belief about anything. If it's true to you, it's going to become true to you. So the doctor can tell me, right, that I'm a diabetic. And they say, here you go. Which it's been several occasions in my younger days when they told me that I had this and I had that, which I don't. I didn't, subscribe to the information because that's all it is information. But see, our belief system tells us, because they're the expert, because they've studied and practiced in this field and they got a degree and all this stuff, just because we've been told that, they're supposed to know more than us. Well, the doctor told me that if I take this, or this professor told me if I do it this way, or this preacher told me that God told me to tell you that da 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 da. You know what? That's all good and dandy and fandy and handy, but guess what? That's not the final say. The final say is when you agree to it. Once you agree to it, that's just like it coming out of you. Whatever they told you, that's just like you instead of all them years and say, yep, I believe them. It's like you saying, I studied because I accepted what they said, regardless of what the repercussion is. Meaning, like, if you accept what they said, you was the cause, not the doctor. The doctor wasn't the cause. If something happened this is what trips people up, because they say it was a lawsuit against the doctor because the doctor said that it was gonna. But this is why people has to be licensed, as the world put it. They have to be a licensed doctor, or a licensed this, or a licensed that, because see, the person can get sued now. But see, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you would have been tapped into your higher consciousness, this situation wouldn't even be going on. But this is also how you can take advantage of the system and get more money, because that's called a loophole. So, but in actuality, if you accept somebody else's belief, then it's just like you was the one that studied all them years, because you got to accept it first. You accept or you deny. If you get sick because the doctor said this, well, the doctor told me to take this. Like I said, I keep trying to put the emphasis on, we put too much authority on outside things instead of looking at ourselves as the authority. Yes, like I said, there are people who study things like me. I studied things for so many years. So that's why I take my counsel, or I take my advice from my higher self, because I know it knows best, because it knows how to keep my body function. The doctor is just guessing based off of symptoms. My body ain't got to guess shit, because it's already within me, on me. And my body gonna know what's wrong. When I say my body, meaning like the wisdom that is within me is gonna know what's wrong with me before the doctor know what's wrong with me. All I had to be is tuned in and tapped in to that higher conscious, or to that, how can I say, that state of consciousness. And I will be able to receive the information that's for me to heal my own self, to remove a certain behavior before it get out of hand. That's if I choose to do that, though. I can choose to say, you know what, it's time. I can feel, my higher self telling me that I need to cut this shit out. But if I don't cut it out, I can say, you know what, it's time for me to go. I don't want to cut it off. I want to continue what I'm doing because I'm enjoying myself. And if it's time for me to leave this dimension, I can. Once you in authority of yourself, you have more control over your body, over your mind, and over your reality. Once you are a sovereign being, you are free. But first, you have to be free in the mind. Once you begin to become free in the mind, then there is no chains. You are not a slave to the matrix. You are not a slave to the many illusions anymore. You can see now. You can hear now. You know what's best for you now. You is the all knower, but it's only because you tapped in to that higher source of yourself. That's what made you the all knower. You as a human being ain't nothing. You are nobody. The human being ain't nobody compared to the power that's within you. The human being has no say over nothing. And this is what confuses people, because you would have all these negative thoughts. You would have all these, how can I say, arrogant, egotistical, narcissistic thoughts that says, I'm in control. No, you're not. The avatar is never in control. It's never in control. So when a person say I'm God, they know that a source within them is more powerful within them that is controlling everything. Everything they see, everything they experience, everything they hear, everything. The higher source is controlling everything. And once you realize that, that is what it's about. When you say my third eye's open, once you realize this, once you know this for yourself, you're not banking on nobody to say, you know what, da 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 da. You're not doing that. But once you realize that everyone is you pushed out, and your frequency is on a higher level, anytime somebody come to you and tell you something, it's gonna be for your beneficial. It's always gonna be for your benefit. But this be the thing. The mind is a tricky thing. And reason being is because of the same way I'm saying what I'm saying. It's the same way. You can invert everything I'm saying, and you can fuck your whole life up because you just taking a person's word and not actually having no type of experience to show you that, yep, I know. It's not that I believe in what this person is saying. I know what this person is saying is true because I experienced this. I was talking to myself about this and then this showed up. Or, I told myself that, my higher self is going to guide me, is going to give me the wisdom, and so you will start hearing things in your own mind. You'll start having these thoughts, and it's going to tell you which way to go and how to do this and who the fuck to leave alone, and But see, here's the thing also. You can be tapped in to something within your own mind and it's not beneficial, and you'll be saying, well, this is the higher source. You got to test it though. So this is why I'm saying, like, it's in you. You're the only one experiencing it, but you got to test it because it can go against you because you're thinking that, oh, this is my higher self, but then that could be something within your own mind that you just conjuring up yourself because you want to have an experience so bad. So this can be tricky when it comes to people, like dibbling and dabbling with the spiritual world, and, with you having some type of, spiritual gifts and things of that sort, because people do have spiritual gifts, but that's the thing. You cannot fake it. You really got to know that you have the gift. You really got to know you have the gift. And me, I know I have the gift. And a lot of times, how can I say this? I will sell myself short because of the environments that I allow myself to be in. Because of a lot of the conversations I allow myself to still interact in. A lot of stuff that I would do, I know it would lower my frequency. And the more it lowers my frequency, the more it is lowering my capabilities. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't say I'm like an expert or I'm great at, being able to harness my capabilities. I'm not great at it like that. Anywho, I done talked longer than I said I was gonna talk. God damn, 34 minutes, and I'm still in the same spot, y'all. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I didn't know I was gonna say all this stuff. I just, I was just compelled. I was just moved to say this stuff. But y'all gonna see, I'm gonna get ready to release that video at the Wild too. But all it was talking about is that you're not nothing. You don't create nothing. You don't say nothing. You don't have a say in nothing. You don't. And when you don't have a say in nothing, guess what's gonna happen? If you're not tapped in to your higher self that's within you, you're gonna be tapped in to something outside of yourself that don't know shit about you. They don't know nothing about you. Nothing. But like I said, the higher your frequency goes, the higher your consciousness goes, everything gonna work out for you. Because you gonna know. It's just in you to know now, because you tapped in, you connected, you grounded to that source that's within you. You grounded. But if you're not grounded, any and everything can come in. It's gonna be like a hit or miss thing. Some days you're gonna be happy, some days you're gonna feel fucked up and sluggish and depleted of energy and confused and depressed and angry and sad and alone. Because you know why? Because you ain't tapped in. You gotta have a relationship with yourself. You gotta have a relationship with yourself. That's all I can say about that. Have a relationship with yourself, and you got to tell yourself the truth. That's the hardest part about it when it comes to having that relationship with yourself. Telling yourself the truth. I done told myself the truth. And I accept. I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect for Zakita. I'm perfect for Zakita. I'm perfect with living my life the way I want to live it. Yeah, I'm gonna just say that. I'm perfectly okay with that. And with that said, I hope everyone have a beautiful, beautiful DAZE, because like I said, it all in every moment, we are in a hypnotic state. Hypnotic state. That state is determining how we are experiencing our life. Is it going to be on a grander level, or is it going to be on a lower level, or a, woe is me level? It's up to the individual. It's up to the individual, because when the individual is living on a woe is me level, on the lower level, you know what's happening? They are fearful. They are needing validation. They have a lot of, how can I say, so much resistance to self going on, to the point that they are living in limitation, living in scarcity, living in a confused and distorted mind, because all is mental. All is mental. So with that said, self-love is the best love, and self-care is the best motherfucking therapy. I'm out.